Hi guys, Dennis here with you again. Thanks for joining me for this video. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube Anxiety Guide channel. Now today is actually one of the most powerful videos I've ever made. And the reason for that is because of the drastic changes that this one concept made in my life and has made for many people that have gone through our program. That program you can find on anxietyexit.com. Now, this is a huge difference in a way of thinking. And when you start to understand this concept, you start to put yourself in a place of power. You start to become in control of your life. And for many years, I had no control over my life. I basically was someone who was going through life on a daily basis, fearful of the world, fearful of what might happen, fearful of the consequences to my thoughts, the consequences to my beliefs, the consequences to the environment I put myself in, whatever it may be. But I was living in a world of reaction for many, many years. And this way of thinking was so big that in a very short amount of time, I started to see incredible changes. And this way of thinking is actually, it comes down to living in a world of which we all live in, a world of cause and effect, right? And there's two types of people out there. There's actually the majority of people that live in a world of effect, a world where they feel like they're the victim, a world where they feel like they don't have the resources to change some of the outcomes in their lives. They don't have the power to make the decisions that they want to make in their lives. They're constantly in a loop of negativity, in a loop of pessimism. And when you're stuck in a world of effect, when you're constantly reacting to what's going on in your world, you start to feel powerless. And that's just not the right way of thinking, guys. It was really important for me to understand that there was another way of going about life. There wasn't just this one way that I got so caught up in, this one way that I was comfortable living in. And everything was either black or white. I really didn't feel like I had any options in my life. I didn't have any resources to change myself, you know. And I blamed people, I blamed the internet, I blamed the TV, I blamed, you know, my fiance, I blamed my son, I blamed everybody. And when you live like that, it's very debilitating, and your health anxiety, for one, gets much, much worse. Now, guys, as you're watching this video, I need to really point out a couple things. Now, you may be sitting there, and I've gotten some emails and people going, Dennis, can you give me some tips on how to overcome my anxiety? You know, too many people out there are asking for way too many tips, okay? We don't live in a world where tips actually will make a dramatic difference in your life. You are suffering from chronic anxiety. There's a reason for you to be suffering the way you are on a daily basis, right? Your behaviors, your values, your beliefs, your identity, the person that you think you are right now, those things don't change by tips. They change by recognizing your vision for your life, okay? They change by recognizing that in 2 years' time, my, let's say, long-term goal is to have this aspect of my life look like this and this and this. Or, you know, when I overcome my health anxiety, I want to be able to go over the daily exercise routine that I used to go through, again, 4 or 5 days a week. You need to be very, very specific in your vision. You can't be generalizing your vision. When you start to generalize your vision, nothing happens, right? So enough with the tips. First things first, have a vision. Secondly, make a decision. Make a decision that you truly want change to happen in your life. Ask yourself the question of whether or not you're happy in your life or you're not happy. If you're not happy, change some of the things that are happening in your life. Change it. But you can't change it. You can't come up with a plan. You can't come up with a vision until you start to live in a world of cause and not effect. And that means that you understand that you are where you are due to the conscious and the unconscious decisions that you've made in your life. Think about that for a second. Take a second and just think about that. You are where you are in your life due to the unconscious and the conscious decisions you've made in your life up to this point. Okay? Nobody has affected your life. No external thing has made any kind of difference as to whether your life headed into this direction or that direction. The reason your life is the way it is because of those decisions, guys. And quickly going back, and you're watching this video right now, the idea of you watching this video right now, the simple action that you've taken, guys, is huge. Because so many people aren't even watching these videos. You know, I put these videos out on Health Unlocked. I put these videos out on social media and my blog. And a lot of people see it, they see the thumbnail, and they just kind of leave it alone, you know. And I want to ask those people, you know, are you expecting change to happen by doing the same thing over and over again? It's not going to happen. And you need to really understand that if you want serious change to happen, you need to start investing in you. And the best way to invest is to invest your time. Invest your time into reading some self-help books on anxiety, reading the Me versus Myself on and off the court book. Go to anxietyexit.com, pick it up, it's free. Read it, understand it, but don't just read it, study it. Study it. Study like as if you're in school. Don't just watch a video and then just go about your day thinking you've understood what you've just watched. Don't just go about your day and go, you know what, I've read 30 pages today. If you don't understand, if you can't clearly explain to somebody what you've read, what you've just educated yourself on, nothing is going to change, and you haven't clearly understood that. When you don't clearly understand it, you can't make the changes in your life, right? So, guys, it's time to truly invest in you. It's time to live in a world of cause rather than effect. It's time to put power back into your own hands. And the other thing to point out is that many people, the majority of this world, don't really take responsibility for their results in their lives unless they're actually positive, right? If something positive happens in your life, you go, well, whew, that was me, right? Or you help somebody out there one of those days and go, wow, that I just did that, right? But when something negative happens, when something that doesn't feel comfortable happens in your life, automatically, if you live in a world of effect, you automatically start the blame game. You automatically start to victimize yourself. You play the victim card again and again and again. And that just truly leads to a world where it's just not good enough. It's just truly not good enough. So guys, I truly want you guys to understand through this video the importance of living in a world of cause, understanding that you have choices, understanding that the decisions that you make internally, right, and the conscious physical actions that you put behind it through your behavior are the things that truly make up your world, right? Nothing. Stop blaming people. Stop blaming your circumstance. Right? I remember, guys, and this goes back about 10 years, and I remember not being able to pay my rent, okay, living in Alberta, not being able to pay my rent, and Alberta snows 8 months a year. I had to sleep outside for a couple days, actually I think it was more like a week, because I couldn't pay my rent. I didn't have a secure job. I didn't have any friendships. I didn't have anybody to turn to. I was embarrassed to talk to people. I couldn't tell my family. I didn't want them to go through the pain that I was currently going through, that kind of guilt. Guys, I've been through hell, and if you're going through hell, I truly understand that. But going back to those days that I was living, and living with health anxiety, and being in a car, thinking to myself, what's the point? Like, truly, what's the point? What's the point in just going about tomorrow when today was just an absolute nightmare or hell to just basically get through? I got nothing out of this day back then. I lived in fear. I lived in fear of symptoms. I couldn't go on vacations. I couldn't drive a mile. I couldn't fly. I couldn't talk to people. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do anything. And I understand where you're coming from. I understand that the easy thing to do is ask for reassurance from people, is to go on forums and chats and groups and ask people that, you know, ask them about your symptoms, ask them about this new antidepressant, ask them about this and that. And living in a world where you're just kind of reacting, living in a world of effect. And I challenge you guys to start changing your thought processes, start changing the way you view your life, start taking responsibility. Don't just watch this video and go, okay, Dennis, change me, you know, or read a book and go, if I read this book, it is going to change my life. It might, but most probably it won't unless you studied the book, right? Because with anxiety, what comes, there's a number of neurological issues that come with constant chronic anxiety. You feel like your concentration lapses. You feel like your memory gets a bit worse. So we need to train ourselves that much more for the time being before things become more natural and easy to understand. So guys, in closing this video, invest in you. Don't watch this video, study this video. Don't read a book, study the book. You know, and study yourself. Study yourself, study your behavior, study your values, study your beliefs, study your belief system. Study yourself, and you're going to see dramatic changes in your life. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can be more than anxiety, the identity that I thought I was for many years, you can do the same thing. Enjoy the Anxiety Guy podcast, guys. I'd love to hear your rate. I'd love to hear your review. Please rate that podcast if you're enjoying it. And I'll see you guys in the podcast episode tomorrow, which is Monday morning. And of course, our episodes come out every single Monday. I'll see you guys then. Enjoy your life. Take control of your life. Have a wonderful day. Remember, you're more than anxiety. Bye, guys.